Well, g'day, curd nerds. G'day, curd nerds. Well, g'day, curd nerds. Well, g'day, curd nerds. Well, g'day, curd nerds. Well, g'day, curd nerds. Oh, g'day, curd nerds. Let me just check if everything's working here. Yes, we've got sound, and picture looks good as far as I can tell. Looking at the replay on my other screen there. Yep, lovely. Well, thank you for joining me on this 100th episode of Ask the Cheeseman. Very excited that we've made it so far. So that's 100 live episodes. Pretty cool, I reckon. And I pat myself on the back for the achievement. Not only me, of course. There's Kim, who is moderating today, and she will be making an appearance later on in the show. So she's going to do her job through most of the show and then pop in near the end. So, of course, we've got lots of people on the chat, which is absolutely fantastic from all over the world. And there's lots of congratulations coming through for the 100th show. But we'll get to some shout-outs in a minute. Now, just some housekeeping on what's coming up. We have Wensleydale with cranberries is the video that's going up in about 36 hours, I think. Yeah. So that will be happening soon. So normal release time for me is 2 a.m. Friday. I don't know what that is in your time zones, but that's when I do it, and that seems to work all right. It gets the maximum views. People seem to watch it off the bat, which is really good. So that'll be happening, and then there would be a jalapeno cheddar taste test video, which I'll tell you what, it turned out to be one of the most amazing cheeses I've made. Light on the spice, but the flavour was just amazing. So for that cheese, I actually had used a starter culture by Choose It. It's called MA 4001. So it's a cheddar-ish sort of style starter culture. So that was just amazing. Chalk and cheese compared to MO30, which I use from Sacco. Anyway, and then somewhere in there, there'll be a stout cheddar video, which is still in post-production, and saffron-infused cheese taste test, which is in post-production as well. So that'll be fun. And I don't know if Larry's on the chat from Deep South Texas. I haven't seen him. But we're doing a collab. I'm rustling up some sodium citrate, which I'm going to make myself, and make some American cheese, and I'll be filming that and doing that on Thursday afternoon, because the weekend kind of got away from me. Now, also, before we start, there is a 100th episode giveaway. So, very excited. I'm very excited about this. Let's go to the other screen. So for the Ask the Cheeseman live stream, there is going to be a giveaway. There's where's the picture? There it is. 2 curd harps. So a horizontal and a vertical one, courtesy of Steve Benz. And I'll put the link in the giveaway. There'll also be a second prize, which is Keep Calm and Make Cheese plus Say Cheese, which is a little joke book, which is very cool. And then third prize will be just a bound version of Keep Calm and Make Cheese. So, all very cool. Don't want to repeat that. Stop that. Right. So that and the details for the giveaway. And it's only going to run for 2 days. 2 days only. And if you have a look in the description below for this video, there is the link to the competition. So I'll just pop over to my other desktop. Whoops, should have changed first. And the giveaway, as you can see there on the screen, I'll just make that bigger. So Ask the Cheeseman 100th giveaway. This is the link. Total value of the prize pool is $270.56 Australian. And you simply enter with your email address, and that goes into a little database, and then I randomly select that when it finishes. So as you can see, it's only 23 hours, so it's 1 day. I must have changed the date. Okay, so 1 day. So as you can see, first prize, the 2 curd harps from Steve Bend, aka the Wood Junkie Studio, the book and the joke book, and then a copy of my book. So enter away. There's multiple ways to win. So go and check that out. That's very cool. That's just for live viewers. I'm not showing it to anybody else and not advertising it anywhere else. So it's just for you curd nerds that watch this show. So hopefully you'll enjoy that and get into it. And we will ship anywhere in the world. We will ship those prizes. Okay? All right. That's it as far as housekeeping goes. So let's get on with the show. I will get back to the chat and we'll go and say a couple of g'days. So first g'day to Priz, to Ruth, Jordan, who else we got there? Patricia, A Dinner Rose, New Frog, I think that's her, New Dog, Bruno, Matthew, whatever, Tony, Marcelo, John, RCHD, Kim, of course. Thanks, Kim, for being here. Nikola, Tony, Craig, g'day, Craig, Annette, Bruce, Lawrence, Dara, I think that's how you say it, Z, Per Ivar, Miss St. G, Frank, Lawrence, Pointer, Hunter's Life, George, I think that's how you say it, Chad, Will, goodness me, lots of them, John, Donna, g'day, and Larry. And hopefully, Larry, you didn't miss the bit about the collab. I'll be filming that on Thursday, mate. Seeing you just turned up, which is cool. And Lewis. So fantastic to see so many people. It says on my little counter thing that there are 61 people watching at the moment, which is really high. That's really cool. Okay, so questions. Oh, and of course, don't forget that as the stream gets fairly busy, which it usually does, that if you have a burning question, then make sure you go and use Super Chat, which is a little $ at the bottom of the chat box, and put your question in there. I think it's as little as $2 US, and you can ask your question, away you go. Otherwise, I'll just get to them in order, okay? All right, and don't forget, when you do a Super Chat, the Curd Nerd sign goes off and you get a gold star. Very cool. Alrighty, so questions. Where's the first one? And by the way, it's my birthday tomorrow, if you didn't already know. So I will be 55 years old. Don't look a day over 54. Okay, first question is from Ruth. Ruth says, and it was a $10 super chat. Thank you very much, Ruth. Gavin, please make a video of how to wrap washed curd cheeses in ripening paper. Washed curd cheese. Washed curd as in like Edam and Gouda, I think. Ripening paper? Or you're talking about mould ripened cheeses in the paper? I think that's probably... I've actually got some clips I can cut and paste out of the Little Bear video. I can make something out of that. So yes, I can do that, Ruth. And also how to prepare feta as a gift with olive oil, which is, well, in this country it's called Persian feta or marinated feta. So yeah, I can do something like that. Something pretty like basil floating in it. Good idea. So Persian feta is... Well, that's what it's called here. I can certainly do that, Ruth. No problems at all. Thank you very much for your super chat. Next question is from Matthew. And Matthew says, I live in the Netherlands and my Dutch isn't too good. Okay, so you're not a Dutchman. That's fine. Do you know what saltpeter is used for cheese making? Saltpeter is sodium nitrate. So saltpeter is normally used for gunpowder, making gunpowder and dynamite. It's also used in the pickling process for pickling meats and salamis, that sort of thing. I have never seen it used in cheese making. So not sure where you got that from, but I've never seen sodium nitrate used in the cheese making process. It's not required. Okay. If you meant something else, then just whack another comment down below and I'll get to that. Okay. Lots of congratulations. Thank you so much, everybody. Tony says, I've made 4 kinds of cheese thanks to you, Gavin. Well, congratulations. I hope they turned out okay. There's a difference between making them and them turning out okay, but hopefully they have, so that's really cool. Okay, Craig says, G'day, Gavin and Kim. Wow, 100 episodes. What a great milestone. Congratulations. It is a fantastic resource. You should be very proud. Yeah, well, thank you, Craig. Appreciate it, mate. And yes, I am that we got to this milestone, and there'll be many more, so it's not like we're going to stop now that we reached 100. We'll keep going every Wednesday morning. Great little community. I really do enjoy, jumping on the camera and saying g'day and answering all your cheese making questions. So very cool. Okay. Next question. Lawrence says, it's more of a statement. This has to be the most wholesome video chat on YouTube. Yeah, I suppose it is. That's why we have a moderator, Lawrence. But I don't want to put the mocker on it. But yeah, Kim does an awesome job. She really does. And the community that is here is just fantastic. I can never say that enough. You know, we would never have reached 100 shows if you guys didn't turn up week after week. Really, I'd be sitting here talking to myself. It'd be pretty boring, really, wouldn't it? Anyway, so very cool. Z says, it's 4 a.m. I've got nothing to ask. That's okay. Just watch the show, Z. That's very cool. Pris says, hi, Gavin. I found your channel a few months ago. I love your videos. Happy 100th. Thank you very much. Dara says, congrats on 100, as have many other people. Miss St. G, happy birthday. Thank you very much. 55. I feel so old. All right, we've got a super chat. This one's from Miss St. G. Happy birthday, Gavin, and congrats. I'll just kill the flashing light in the background. There we go. Congrats on 100 to both you and the amazing Kim. My question is rather silly. Have you ever made a cheese and then had one of your critters get to it while it was out? And I think critters, you mean dogs. My dogs or chickens. No, I haven't. That's why I use that little, I keep it up on the counter when it's air drying and basically make sure that little umbrella, I haven't got one with me, but it's a little food saver umbrella. I recently put them up as a product on the website and they're selling quite well, very cheap. So a little food umbrella, and that keeps flies and whatever else decides to fly around our kitchen. Even though we have the fly screen doors shut, but they sneak in somehow. No, I've never had anything, not on purpose anyway. So I have had some cheese failures that I have given to the chickens, and they just love it. It's like no problems. Lots of calcium for their eggs, so that's pretty cool. But anyway, thank you so much, Miss St. G, for your $10 super chat. Appreciate it. Okay, back to the regular questions. Where are we? Oh, Miss St. G again. Happy birthday. We just did that. That's cool. Frank says, congrats on the 100 milestone. Hello from Washington State. G'day, Frank. Lawrence, I have a question. Good on you, Lawrence. Does the age of the rennet affect the cheese? I got a mozzarella maker kit, and it recommended keeping the tablets in the freezer. Yes, indeed. So all of the, excuse me, I got an itchy moustache. All of the kits that we send out, we have instructions that you make sure that you keep rennet tablets in the freezer. Liquid rennet goes in the fridge. All of the starter cultures, molds, ripening molds, and ripening bacteria, they all go into the freezer, and calcium chloride goes into the fridge. And that just prolongs their life, usually about a year or two beyond the best before date. And there is a best before date on the packets, but I find that as long as moisture hasn't got into, especially the cultures and the molds, and they're still powdery and there's no moisture in them, they will work like a treat. I've been using cultures that are well past the best before date, rarely have any issues, especially with semi-hard and hard cheeses. There's never any issues at all. But the age of the rennet, it depends. If you have had it sitting at room temperature, especially the microbial rennets, they do expire at higher temperatures. So make sure you keep them cold. And if they're tablets, then yeah, definitely make sure that they're kept in the freezer. There are some shelf-stable one. Mad Millie makes a really light strength rennet tablet, and that is supposed to be shelf stable, but we still keep them. We take them out of the kits, put them in the freezer, and just prolongs their life. So that's cool. Hopefully that answered your question, Lawrence. When in doubt, just try a couple of drops in quarter of a cup of warm milk, and if it coagulates within 30 minutes, it's still good to go. So that's a nice little test that you can try. Okay, we've got another super chat. Very cool. And this is from Paul. And Paul has said, happy birthday and happy 100th episode, boss man. Just opened my Leodama, lots of eyes and fantastic flavour. Have made 25 of your cheeses and counting. So cool. And Paul, let's just make sure. I received your letter, mate, and the spring. Thank you so much for that. Fantastic letter. I actually cried when I read it, and I don't cry very often, but thank you so much, Paul, and thank you so much for the $20 super chat and the £100 spring. I didn't know they existed. I don't know if I'll get it in my press, but I'll give it a good go. So we'll see how we go. But thank you so much for your super chat, Paul. Okay. Moving right along. So we did the rennet question. Pointer says, hello from Amsterdam. Hello. I wish I knew some Dutch. I don't. I went to Amsterdam once on a Kentucky tour way back in the day, back in the 80s. Beautiful country. Hunter's Life. Gavin, what's your favourite cheese? Well, I kind of have a standard reply to this, and it's all the cheeses, Hunter. All of them. I haven't met a cheese that I didn't like. Oh, maybe one or two processed cheeses, but I haven't met a real cheese that I haven't liked. Marcelo says hello from Argentina, and hello to you, Marcelo. And new dog frog, no, new F frog dog says, I think it says hello from Canada, or grin, wave, grin, point right, Canada, maple leaf. Very cool. George, g'day. Chad says hello from the Netherlands. Do you have a favourite warm dish to incorporate cheese in? Oh, let me think. Oh, I love cheese on lasagna, especially homemade Romano or homemade Parmesan and homemade mozzarella, of course, in there as well. That's that. And then I love making shepherd's pie. It's one of my all-time favourite meals, which is basically a savoury mincemeat, whether it can be turkey meat or beef. And then a layer of mashed potato on top of that, and then I put a layer of cheese over the top of that. Just So good. Pop it in the oven and away you go. Lovely. Per Ivar says, congratulations on the 100th episode. Thanks, Per. Will says, you're the best, Gavin. Thank you, Will. Appreciate it, mate. George says, could you do a video on blue ricotta? Ooh. I've seen an article about it, but your videos are so much more informative. Blue ricotta. I'll tell you what, it'd be a bit dodgy, but because the blue takes up to 5 days just to start growing. Well, from 5 to 10 days to start growing. Blue ricotta. And ricotta doesn't last that long, especially just in the fridge. Probably 2 weeks tops. So it'd just get blue. So very strange. Anyway, we'll see. But thank you. I popped that on my list. Okay. Bruce says it says 23 hours. It does. Let's have another look. It does say 23 hours 59. I did mark it up. So 1 day. We've got 1 day to enter the competition, which is very cool. Okay. John says, when are you going to smoke some cheese? Yes. Yes, I am. Eventually. It's on the list to do. John, there's so many cheeses. I've got so many maturing, so I've got to find one that I'll smoke. So anyway, that's cool. Donna says, "Hey Gavin, actually in the middle of the Caribbean on a cruise, and just wanted to say hi." Well, that's a great way to watch a Ask the Cheeseman video. Is on a cruise. I'm glad you've got mobile reception out there. Well, you've probably got Wi-Fi. I think all those cruise ships have Wi-Fi these days. So thanks, Donna. Hope enjoy your cruise. Very cool. Larry says, "G'day, everybody." G'day, Larry. Very cool. I've just missed a whole bunch of stuff. Oh, what happened to my chat? I've got to find Larry again. Where is he? There he is. Right, cool. Lewis, big thumbs up. Thanks, Lewis. Raven says, your cheese making videos are amazing. And hello, Raven. G'day, Jeffrey. Larry says, I missed it, but I watched the replay. That's cool, Larry. We will get our American cheese happening. I'm determined. Miss St. G says, thank you for modding again today, Kim. And she says, my pleasure. Lawrence says, happy 55th. Thank you, mate. And Bruce, thank you. Adam, I think he's got a question. Where is it? Adam says, hi, Gavin. Congrats on the 100th episode. As I'm running out of space in my cave, am I asking for trouble having some Camembert share a ripening box with some Petite Blue? Oh, yes, indeed. You are asking for big, big trouble. No, not really. What's the worst that can happen? The Petite Blue will start growing white mold and the Camembert will start growing blue mold. Depends on how dry they are. Blue mold seems to like it a lot drier than what white mold does. So it depends on the moisture content of the cheese. But the Petite Blue, the recipe was fairly similar to what most Camemberts are anyway. It's just got the addition of blue and that just grows all over the outside because it's drier. But anyway, yeah, you probably will get some cross-contamination indeed. Why don't you just make the Camemberts and put them in the ripening box and put them in the kitchen fridge? And that way you won't have as many issues. The Camembert will still ripen. You'll still get the mold growth. And anyway, once you've wrapped them in the micro-perforated paper, you've got to put them in the fridge anyway to slow down the growth, because if you keep them at 10 degrees Celsius or even 13, it's just a runaway effect. The Penicillium candidum just makes the center of the cheese go runny as anything. So by putting it in the fridge and slowing down that process, when they're wrapped up, that really does help. Okay. Nikola says, happy birthday. Thank you, Nikola. George says, happy birthday, Gavin. Thank you, George. Don't know how to read Hebrew, but message retracted. Okay, fair enough. Ruth says, I mean mold ripened cheese. Oy vey. Right. Yes, I do have a clip I can do a voiceover for, Ruth. So, yeah, no problems. Matthew says, is the market in Australia for artisan cheesemakers already saturated, or do you think there is plenty of room for new small businesses to be created making cheese commercially? Good question, Matthew. I don't think the market is saturated. It is, if you go to markets on the weekends, food markets and stuff like that, you're lucky if you get one artisan cheesemaker, sometimes none at all. A lot of the artisan cheesemakers sell to local restaurants and that sort of thing, and then try to get into the larger restaurants in the cities to sell their cheese because they make such small amount. I don't think it's saturated personally. I'm not in the market as far as that goes. I know from the recent mould festivals that are happening around Australia. I think there was one in Brisbane last weekend. There'll be one in Melbourne soon as well. And the artisan cheesemakers that turn up there, their cheese is just amazing. But I'm sure they could. And there's usually 20 tops. There's got to be more in Australia. I'm sure there is. So yeah, I don't think it's saturated at all. Artisan cheesemakers, if you make a unique cheese, then people like it, then you'll be able to sell it as long as you can keep repeating it. Okay, Jeff says, happy birthday from Wisconsin in USA, the cheese capital of the USA. Cheese state. Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it. Stacey says, hi, Gavin, from Arkansas. Not pronounced Arkansas, but Arkansas, USA. Happy birthday. Love your videos. Thank you very much, Stacey. Tanupton, I think that's how you say it. Can I ask about I think it's Camembert cheese. Can you do it next video? Thank you. Or Camembert. I think that's Camembert. It's got to be. I've already got three Camembert videos. Just go and check the back catalogue. Okay, Jordan says, Gavin, I don't mean to let the cat out of the bag, but your Wensleydale, you could have chopped up the cranberries a bit smaller to distribute them more thoroughly. Yeah, Jordan, and Jordan's got early access because he's a member. Yes, I could have chopped them up finer, but you might have seen in the video, and this is kind of like preempting everything. So you would have seen them a bit finer. If I chopped them a bit finer, yeah, there would have been even distribution through the cheese. I wanted whole cranberries, and there would have been a sped up part of the video where you saw me pulling apart because it was big clumps of cranberries, so I had to pull them all apart before I milled it through the curds. But yes, I could have chopped them up to make them finer. But I did find in the one that I bought, the Wensleydale cranberry, during the Cheese a Day challenge, I think it was, or could have been Keep Calm and Eat Cheese, which I've kind of put on pause at the moment. There were fairly large chunks of cranberries in the cheese, so I kind of went with that. That's why I did that. Anyway, but thanks, Jordan. Appreciate it, mate. Matthew says, thanks, bought it by mistake, but that's okay. You can always buy more rennet. I think that's what we're referring to. Tony gave me a love heart, a smiley face, and heart eyes. Oh, very nice. And some cheeses. Thank you very much. Sir Benjamin, 33. Hi, Gavin. Love you, BB. BB? What was your first cheese you ever made? What inspired you to start doing it? Well, that's a story. And that story actually appears in my book, Keep Calm and Make Cheese, which is in the giveaway. But quick version is Feta was my first cheese. I learnt how to make it on a cheese making course here in my town, which was very cool. And what inspired me to start doing it, I wanted to make our own food. So I started growing vegetables. We've got chickens and all that sort of stuff. But I want to know what was in my food, so I started making cheese because I like cheese. Okay. That's the short version. The full version's in the first chapter of the book. Okay, New Dog says, wine chiller coming soon. Thinking of putting a travel humidifier in there. Is that any good for my cheese cave? Thanks. Yes. However, what I find is that let me just get rid of that. What I find is that you don't need to make your entire fridge humid. You just need to make sure that your ripening boxes that you put your cheeses in, if you're going to make a natural rind or a mold ripened cheese, that you've got a little bit of a damp paper towel or a damp cloth underneath the mat, and you can achieve the humidity levels no problems at all. The cheeses rarely dry out. So unless you want the entire cheese cave to just be natural rind with no mold ripened cheeses in it, because the mold will just go everywhere and every cheese will be a mold ripened cheese. So JF Carey says, why control humidity in the cheese cave when cheese is sealed in wax? Brackets Colby. That's a good question. So when you do wax your cheese, you don't need to worry about the humidity. In so much as you don't want it like dry, like a furnace. It's got to have there's a little bit of moisture in there because the wax will crack. But you don't need it like 80% humidity when the cheese is in wax. Or vacuum packed, because there's no air exchange whatsoever. So you don't need to worry about it. I might have mentioned that in the Colby video, because sometimes you can make Colby with a natural rind, and when you make a natural rind cheese, you have to keep the humidity up or the rind will crack. So that's probably what it says. Okay, Raven says, when it comes to making peppered cheese, is there one better than, say, a cheddar or a jack base? It depends on what you want to make. I've had very nice peppered cheeses made on a cream cheese base. I've had very good cheeses made on a Sherv base, which is goat's cream cheese, basically. And I've also had very good peppered cheeses on an Alpine style base. So I've made a Pecorino Romano with, a Vacino Romano. So cow's milk Romano with peppercorns. So Pepito Romano, I think they call it. That's a very good base for pepper. So actually whole peppercorns, whether that be green peppercorns, red peppercorns, or black peppercorns. The green ones are more intense. They have a better flavour than the black ones. The black ones just kind of numb your tongue when they're in there. So I do find that the green peppercorns that you can buy in a can, buy in a little can, and they're actually moist, much more intense pepper flavour. So they're good in those sort of cheeses. So there's some of the ones. Plus, also Monterey Jack is just a classic with pepper all over it, like my triple pepper jack one. Okay, Per Ivar says, I really love your cheese making movie. Thank you. I am a cheese lover. Will try making my own cheese. Please do. It's just so much fun. And it's so relaxing. Okay, Patricia says, in some of your earlier videos, you wrapped blue cheeses in foil. Were you using a perforator foil? It looked like regular sheet aluminium. Yes, Patricia, it was. It was just aluminium foil. However, these days, I found a product called Silver Micro Perforated Paper. So it's a foil on the outside and it's a sort of non-stick paper on the inside. So I would use foil, perforated foil now for wrapping any blue cheeses which I'd want to wrap. And really, because I've been doing natural rinds and that sort of thing, like the Shropshire Blue, I haven't wrapped it or anything like that. Just let it do its thing in the cheese cave and be funky, which is very cool. But yeah, I don't think I'd use foil anymore because it kind of sticks, and we all know that aluminium is not good for the human body if it gets ingested. So anyway, Chad says, guilty admission, sometimes I put on your videos to fall asleep to. You're the Bob Ross of cheese. I've been told that a few times, Chad. That's okay. I don't mind at all. A lot of people actually watch my videos after they've had a night on the town to chill out, doing whatever they do. But I've been told that as well. So, yeah. Apparently you put my video on and have a stoner party or something. It's just in my voice. Anyway, Randy says, thank you for the Bain Marie tip as a cooking pot for the milk and curds. Reasonably priced and so many options in one unit. No problems at all, Randy. And Ruth says, I have to go already, Kim. I miss your beautifulness, but we'll see you on the next vid. Thanks, Gavin and Kim. Bye. See you next time. Thank you, Ruth. You can watch it in the replay. I'm sure she'll be there. Don't worry about that. I'll make sure I'll drag her out of the other room. And New Frog says, happy birthday, Gavin. Thank you very much. Tamerton says, you did not answer to me about Camembert. Yes, I did. There are 3 videos on the channel. And Kim, if you can find the one for Little Bear and just put the link in, that'll help Tamerton. Chris says, hi, Gavin, and happy birthday for tomorrow. Thank you, Chris. Do you know what controls the final sweetness of the cheese? Yeah, I think so. The lactose in the cheese is obviously milk sugar, and that has some effect on the sweetness, the remaining lactose. Remembering that the lactic bacteria consumes lactose in its quest to create lactic acid. So less acid development, therefore, makes the cheese taste sweeter, if that makes sense. That's why lots of fresh cheeses taste sweeter than what hard cheeses do, of course, because there's more lactose or milk sugar remaining behind. So hopefully, Chris, that answers your question. Dara says, have you come across this new automated cheesemaker on Kickstarter called Formaggio? Looks really cool. If so, what do you think about it? Oh, yes, I've come across it. I have an opinion. Probably not what the Formaggio people want. I think it only holds like 2 litres of milk. And, just from personal experience, 2 litres of milk doesn't make much of a cheese. Maybe for fresh cheeses, yeah, sure. It'll be fine. But when it comes down to, and they say it can make hard cheeses, but it doesn't. We know that hard cheeses take, at least 3 months to mature. And they don't mature in the little machine. You've got to have all the stuff that we normally have as home cheesemakers to mature those cheeses. So it may get people into the cheese making thing, but it may disappoint people and they won't continue on past fresh cheeses. So that's what I don't want to happen, is people to go out and get their Formaggio, make a few cheeses and be dissatisfied with the outcome, when we know, as home cheesemakers in this community, that you can make some most excellent cheeses at home. My videos are a testament to it, and the taste tests. I haven't had a bad taste test yet, or maybe 1 or 2, maybe the same Marcelin. But you know what I mean. So that's what I don't want to happen to the cheesemaking community or fledgling newbie curd nerds. So, yeah. Okay, we've got another super chat there, and this one's from Patricia. Hang on, I'll just stop the sign from flashing. I'll get my finger on the... There we go. All right, cool. Patricia says, glad you updated the foil. My question is, how far from the taste test on jalapeno cheddar? Or is that jalapeno? I think that's how you say it. Cheddar. We're not very far at all. I actually filmed it on the weekend. And thank you for your $5 Canadian there, Patricia. Appreciate it as always. So it will be released on Monday, which my time, which will be Sunday, or maybe Sunday, I don't know, Monday or Tuesday, my time. So yeah, it'll be out next week. So that'll be cool. Thank you for asking. Okay. Where are we up to? Yeah, right. Automated cheesemaker. Right, I said my piece on that. That'll do. Mr. Wintergreen says, I'm toasting your success with a nice piece of home-smoked Havarti. Cheers to you. Sounds excellent. I bet it tastes amazing. Todd says, is there a reason for thermophilic culture? Simply that you can process the curds to a higher temperature, or does it bring other benefits or changes to the cheese simply by its nature, even at a low temperature? No. Yes and no. So thermophilic culture is there for a reason. It likes high temperatures. So to get the curd structure to such a small size, you have to heat the curds past about 48 degrees Celsius. So don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. And to do that, you need a culture that's going to survive up to 55 degrees Celsius. And that's thermophilic culture, heat-loving cultures. It also has other benefits. When it dies, it breaks down into enzymes which then affect the fats and proteins within the cheese and creates a different flavour than what mesophilic starter culture does. So the answer is twofold. It does have an effect on the cheese, and it tastes totally different. In fact, this weekend when I did the jalapeno cheddar taste test and the saffron infused cheese taste test, the jalapeno was a mesophilic one, and the saffron one was a thermophilic with some Floridanica as well. The taste, chalk and cheese, totally different structures, totally different flavour profiles. So yes, that's the answer is twofold. I'll stop there. Something in Hebrew. Sorry, I can't read your name. I'm sure you've been on here before. Sorry about that. It says, hey Gavin, happy birthday. I made Gouda cheese and accidentally started the milk at 38 Celsius. Did I make a different kind of cheese? And do you know what cheese is that? No, I don't know what the cheese is that you've created, but it'll be different than what Gouda is. Gouda always has a lower starting temperature. That's a very high temperature for the mesophilic starter culture to hit the road running, so could be a bit of an issue. But as long as, and I know that you wash the cheese with varying temperatures of water as you go through the process, hopefully what would have happened is your lactic bacteria would have multiplied a lot faster. So you may have a fairly acidic cheese, but time will tell. But then it goes on to say, thank you very much for your videos. Congrats on the 100 episodes. No problems at all. RCHD says Roquefort. Yes, Roquefort is a cheese. It's made with sheep's milk. I ate some for real during February, the Cheese a Day challenge. It was very nice. I liked Roquefort. Unfortunately, it's very hard to get my hands on sheep's milk. I could probably ask my friend up in the Riverina area of Australia and get some, but it would be a challenge to make Roquefort the same as they make Roquefort with raw sheep's milk. Okay, Elizabeth says, happy birthday, and here's to many more birthdays and great videos. Thank you very much, Elizabeth. Daniel says, where can I get a Curd Nerd shirt? And congratulations on 100. Let me have a look. This one, the Certified Curd Nerd. Let me just bring up the link and put it in the thingo. Let me just grab where you can get a Curd Nerd t-shirt just for you, Daniel. Let me find it. There it is. Good looking t-shirt. It's coming. Oh, I'll get it. There we go. So there might be in the video, there's usually the merch shelf down there, but I'm just copying this off of the website and I'll put this in here. That looks good to me. So anybody wants a Curd Nerd t-shirt, go and have a little link in the chat now. All right. That's where you get it. And Danielle says, good morning. I should be doing uni work, but I couldn't miss the 100th episode. Congratulations and happy birthday. Thank you very much, Danielle. Appreciate it. Tony says, all good so far. Thank you, Tony. And Kim's already beat me to the t-shirt. In fact, all the merch. Well done. Thank you, Kim. I knew you would do that. I'm half an hour behind. It's crazy. Erica says, I've been watching your channel. I recently started making cheese butters, and your channel has helped me tremendously. Happy 100th. Can't wait to see what comes next. Well, many, many cheeses, and thank you very much, Erica. Smoky Brew says, Gav, can you tell us about how you store cheeses, and do you convert any fridges for storage similar to beer making? Yes, there is actually a video on my cheese fridge, and if Kim can pull up the link, that would be fantastic. Smoky Brew. All I do is use an external thermostat that I plug the fridge into, put the probe inside the fridge, just hang it through the seal, nothing technical about it. And that keeps the cheeses at about 13 degrees Celsius, 55 Fahrenheit. So nothing really special about it. It's just a dorm fridge. You can use a normal full-blown fridge that works equally as well, as long as you got the external thermostat. 'Cause it's very hard to change the internal thermostat to anything higher than about 6 degrees Celsius, which is no good at all. Where are we? Alexander says, just want to say hi from Germany. Looking forward to trying out to make cheese. Thanks, Alexander. Best of luck. Kevin, happy birthday. Congrats on the 100th. Danny says moo moo. Very cool. I can do moo moo too. Hang on, let's see if it works. Is there a cow? There we go. I can do a moo as well. Oh, crazy. Odensler, I think that's how you say it. Happy 100th, and thanks for the great content. Thank you very much. Where it's just skipped ahead because it can. I've got to go back to where we are. Jackson the End says, hey Gavin, glad I can make the 100th live stream. Lots of love from Jackson. Thank you, Jackson. Tracy says, if I run out of rennet, can I still make halloumi? No, you can't. You need rennet to make halloumi, unfortunately. Jeff says, hello from Wisconsin. G'day, mate. Adam, can you make a cheese whiz tutorial? No, I'm not making cheese whiz. Kevin says, hey Chad, you need to try Castle Spatzel. Not sure what that cheese is, but I'm sure I'll have a look at it. Ronell says, Bulla from Fiji. Bulla to you. Robin, congratulations, Gavin, on the 100. Only just started making cheese with you and a great success. Thank you. No problems at all, Robin. Glad to help. Chad is talking to Kevin. That's cool. David says, hi, Gavin. Lovely to meet you last night. Yes, it was, David. It was lovely to have a chat. You'll probably answer this, but what cheese is next? The next cheese coming out is Wensleydale with cranberries. Very nice. And then the next cheese after that will be stout cheddar, and the next cheese after that will be American cheese, which I haven't made, but I'm making it on Thursday. Okay. Thanks, David. Appreciate it, mate. FuseLink says, hey, Gavin, my name is Sean Guy, and I love watching your cheese videos. Congratulations on that 100. Thanks, mate. Erica says, for a newbie cheesemaker, do you recommend vacuum sealing the cheeses to age? Also, trying to get a cheese cave going. I'm itching to make some cheddars. Yeah, look, I think for the newbie cheesemaker, definitely waxing is messy. I'll admit that, and I wish I had found vacuum packing many years ago. I think the machines were prohibitively expensive, but these days they're all fairly cheap. I use the Sunbeam Food Saver brand. Seems to work fine. Never have too many issues with it, so that works. But yeah, vac packing is the way to go for semi-hard and hard cheeses. It keeps the mold off them. You don't have to worry about it. But if you're making a natural rind, then no. And if I recommend it within the cheese video, it's for a reason, because you need the cheese and the curds to dry out a lot more for those sorts of cheeses to get the authentic texture and flavour. But the ones I vac pack or wax, then you can vacuum pack, no problems at all. Okay, Charmaine says, when you use your cheese press in lots of videos, you press the cheese at different weights with the same spring. How do you know how far to press the spring for certain weights? Very good question, Charmaine. I actually made a video about that, and if Kim can find the link, For my cheese press, I think that's what the video title is, you will see, Charmaine, exactly how I figure out the different weights from the spring. It's quite magical. So go and check that video out. Hopefully Kim will be able to put the link into the chat. Okay, David says, happy birthday too. Thanks, David. Appreciate it. Sean, we've already done that. Thank you, Sean. Selkie says, does humidity affect cheese making too much? I live in the deep south of the USA. Humidity is good for the cheese. Only problem you'll have is when you go to air dry the cheese at room temperature, it will take longer to become touch dry. That's the only issue I can really see. Other than that, it's no big deal. Okay, Pantera says, my niece had a cake made of fruit cheeses, mandarin, orange, blueberry, strawberry. I don't mean cheesecake, but actually fruit cheese. Do you know how it was made? It was so delicious. Yeah, look, there's two ways of doing that. What they do is they make the cheese first, whatever the cheese is. I don't know what the cheese flavour is because I didn't see the packet. But what they do, they mill it and then put the fruit into it. There's two ways of doing it. So they mill the curds before they put it into the press, put the fruit in, mix it up, and you'll see that in the Wensleydale video that's coming out this week. The other way is they make the cheese, mature it first, then they crumble it all up, mix the fruit in, mix the fruit in, and then repress it mechanically, and that gives you the same effect. That's how they do it. Okay. Hope that answers your question. And Per Ivan says, happy birthday from Norway. Thank you very much. Manel, happy birthday. Thank you, mate. Jordan says, I reached out to a local farm near me that raise their own goats and made and sell their cheese. I've been invited to learn and help them make cheese on Thursdays. I'll be able to attend about 11. 11? Okay. Well, that sounds fantastic, Jordan. I'm glad you've reached out to them and asked them whether you can help. That sounds like a fantastic opportunity. Really do envy you there, mate. Okay, Manel says, if I save calcium chloride in the freezer and it has a lighter into it, a light in it, is it affected at the calcium chloride? Yeah, look, calcium chloride, just defrost it. It really should be in the fridge. Shouldn't be in the freezer. It doesn't affect it if it's frozen. Just defrost it, put it in the fridge. It'll be fine. Okay, Lisa says, congratulations on the 100th and happy birthday. Wensleydale is next on my list. Thank you very much, Lisa. Tina Weber. My goodness. Close to my sister's name. Her name's Tina Weber. Hello from Iowa, USA. Happy birthday. Thank you, Tina. Manel says, I want to use tablet rennet alternative, liquid rennet in the recipes. Oops, I'll get back to that. There's a super chat. That is from, get rid of that, Gold Star. There's a Gold Star to Jordan. Thank you for everything, Gavin and Kim, and all you curd nerds. I really love this hour on Wednesdays, Tuesday, Wednesdays. Thank you, Jordan. Appreciate your super chat. And thank you for the $10. Appreciate it, mate. Anyway, back to Manol's question. I want to use rennet tablet alternative. If I use 1/8 of a teaspoon or a 1/16 or a 32 or can I dilute the rennet tablet in 1/4 cup of non-chlorinated water? Okay. So there's a long answer to this and there's a short answer. The short answer is each type of rennet has their own clotting amount. So it'll clot a different amount of milk. So you'll notice, it depends on where you get rennet from. On the label, it should say X amount of milliliters for how many liters of milk, right? So the couple that I sell, as far as liquid goes, it has on the label how much you need to use. So for the Chimax Plus that I sell, which is just liquid vegetable rennet, you use 2.5 milliliters per 2.5 milliliters per 10 liters of milk. They'll all have different strengths, and the different strength is measured in what's known as IMCU, International milk coagulating units is a standard for rennet, and the strength of the rennet, and it's followed by a number. So you really need to look at what it says on your bottle or what the manufacturer has, depending on how much milk you are using. So you need to adjust it up or down depending on how little or how much milk you use. Okay, hope that answered your question, Manuel. Okay, it's...
Happy birthday to you.
Oh, goodness me.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Gavin. Our 100th live episode.
There she is. There's Kim, first time on camera. There's the camera there, honey.
Oh, hi,
you can look.
Hi. There you go.
Oh, thank you very much. There's my birthday cake, so I'll blow it out. I'll make a wish. Thank you, darling.
You got lipstick on you.
Oh, no. I've got lippy on me. Look. Very cool cake. Thank you, wife. I love you very, very much.
Thank you for supporting the show, guys. I'm going to go wrap up, so everybody behave yourselves.
All right. Thank you very much. And I didn't realise there was only 5 minutes to go. Thank you, Kim. I won't eat my cake right now, but look, I'm way past. I'm half an hour behind on the questions. So if anybody's got any burning questions, then super chat them now and I'll get to them. But I'll continue on for 2 more minutes. Kevin says, just tasted my Bel Paese after 6 weeks and it is awesome. Your recipe is great and I recommend it to all. Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate it, mate. Manel says, crave Buddha Kaiser cheese. I see yellow and black spots. I washed it with light brine. The black spot is removed, but the yellow, is it still normal? Yes, yellow molds do occur on cheese, and there's no issues. They won't poison you. You will be fine, which is cool. Ben says, recently made blue cheese. One turned out great. The other tasted a lot like Swiss cheese. Is that normal? Oh, is it normal? Nothing's normal with cheese making. All sorts of things happen. Not sure without any further diagnosis there, mate. So can't really help out, unfortunately. Anyway, let's get to the end of the show. Kim should be back in her little office. That was her appearance. Very cool. She's doing the wrap up. But I really appreciate the $50 Canadian. That is amazing, mate. There's a super duper gold star for you. Appreciate it. Thank you very much, Bart. So wrapping up the show, don't forget that, where is it? We've got an online store, littlegreenworkshops.com.au, where you can get all your cheese making supplies. And we send all over the world. There's a few countries that are restricted, but you'll see that at checkout. And don't forget, you can support us via YouTube memberships. There's either a join down below and join button, and you can get early access to the videos that I release. In fact, there's Wensleydale sitting there being early accessed right now, so as a member. And a Patreon, and you can pop over to Patreon and get different tiers and different rewards for how much you pay every month, which is cool. Kim's put the link to the cheese press. That's cool. And the merch store, we've already done a link for that. So you can get cool merch like the Certified Curd Nerd Cup. There's other designs. The T-shirt, this one's getting a bit old, but I've had it for a long time. So that's very cool. And don't forget, you can check out, what else? The podcast. There's about 86 podcast episodes over at Little Green Cheese, and there's lots of recipes for free on Little Green Cheese as well. So you can go and check those out. Well, thank you, everybody, for a successful 100th episode stream. I'll consume my birthday cake a little bit later with a cup of coffee. Say good day to Holly the dog. Where is she? She's there. You've probably seen her. Very cool. And it's a pleasure serving the cheese-making community. It really is. I do enjoy this show every single week. All right, well, thank you, everybody, for watching, and we'll see you next Wednesday, same time, same channel.